Ready to go outside? Ready? Hang on there, buddy. Let me set the camera down for a second. There goes the mailman, woman. What a beautiful day it is. Dandelion. Apple tree, pear or peach tree. Can't remember what it's called. I have no idea what this stuff is. It grows up every year. See, my little tree down here is starting to get blooms on it. And I can't remember what it's called either. But it only blooms once a year in the spring for about a week, and then it's just a little tree, shrub. It's not bloomed all the way yet, it's just starting. I see it's still nice and windy out today. There's some of my blackberries. And they're starting to get little blooms on them. Well, not blooms, so to speak, but they're getting little buds on them. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, buds. This year I'm going to try to collect me some of the leaves. I've been saying that for the last 2 years. If I get so many berries, I forget about the leaves. But But I like to collect some of them. They say they're good for medicinal purposes for your health. And I've got 2 of these. They have beautiful little pink roses on them, but they're very thorny. You don't want to touch these boogers. There's another one. Let's look at those thorns. But when she blooms, she's beautiful. And this is my experiment growing a grapevine, which I've never done before. I have not had a grape yet. I think this will be year 3, maybe 4. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And this is one of my compost boxes that got messed up. Lid. I guess the wind blew the lid off. The glass top off a little bit there. And I don't know. That one ain't got no lid on it no more. Guess the wind blew it off too. A bunch of little ants on it. A bunch of ants. I don't want them on me. Oh, let's see if I can get this up here. That lid ain't quite big enough to keep the rain out. And it looks like it's going to rain today, so I may need to put something else over there. But there's too many ants on that. Let's see what else I can find. Here's part of my old chicken coop that isn't being used this year. I got rid of my chickens. It was just too much for me. Some guy offered me made me a deal I couldn't refuse. And they're happy and being well provided for, so I'm satisfied with that. Well, I reckon that's not the best lid. Ooh, I found 2 screws I can reuse. Nope, make that 3 screws. Better in my hand than in a tire. A little dump pile down there. Not junk, but stuff that we can use on the place. And there's my nephew's deer camper that he hasn't come to get yet. They did say, though, that as soon as it dried up, they would come and get it. I'd say I would be expecting them today. But I doubt it. And all this meadow back here. Oh, wait, I got more blackberries we transplanted last year. Bunches of them. I wonder if they're budding. Oh, yeah. It does kind of look that way. And that looks like a garden hose I didn't know was down here. I'll get a few more that way. I wonder how they turned out. Looks like they may need to be trimmed this year, the ones that don't want to grow, trim them back, and maybe next year they'll come up because the roots are still alive. They'll grow back even better. Got a few things that need to be cleaned out of them. But this hillside here, we let it grow up every year for the wildlife and for the flowers and such. And on the other side of this hill used to be an old road back in the 1800s. And it just goes on down to the bottom there. Can't wait to see life in her again. Everything starts growing and all the insects start eating the pollen. But yeah, that was a very big old tree there that fell down after we moved in a couple of years ago. No, I've been here over 10 years, but a couple years after we moved in, it fell over. Yeah, that's part of the road. See, I put a jar up there, laying there. This place is so full of glass. Last year I spent a good part of the summer. There's a robin. Trying to find him something to build a nest with. I don't have a zoom on my camera. But last year I spent a good part of the summer picking up a lot of glass down through this road. And we got so many heavy rains, you can't even tell I touched it now. It's full of glass again. I guess after they stopped using it for the road, the people that lived here used it for a dump, and it's all washed all across through there. And that looks like a rabbit burrow. Probably got baby rabbits in under it, which I'm not going to bother it. They love this hillside. There's another spot here. I don't think they're using it anymore, but it's, never know. Could just be flattened, one they did already use from all the rain. When I first saw them coming up over here, I thought they were some kind of a ground bee, but I've not seen any sign of that. So the only other thing I can think of is rabbit burrows. We've got a bunch of them running around here. It's kind of funny. I used to watch them out here in the backyard playing. My chickens back here, and my chickens would sneak up on them and peck them, and they take off running. Sometimes they jump up in the air and spin around and almost land on top of the chicken. Fun times. See, I got a tree that fell over. Have to clean that up. It's right in the pathway. See, we mow little pathways through this so we can walk on it. Take a walk. And it looks like it's going to rain today. It looks nasty. But it is nice and warm out finally. Yeah. Doesn't go too much further down. Goes down as far as you can see the greener side coming back up on there, and that little dip is where it stops at. Yep. Little tree couldn't take the wind. Oh, I see the bigger tree fell on the littler trees. Knocked them over. Wow, what a mess. Yep, that looks like it'll give us something to do. As if we needed anything. A couple years ago, I discovered that we have sassafras trees that grow up over here. How in the world I knew that's what they were, I'll never know. But as soon as I seen them, I said, that's sassafras. I guess when I was younger, I seen it and remembered it somehow. A lot of wild blackberries down through here. I hear the thunder. It won't be long now. Guess I better make my way back up to the house. But yeah, a lot of wild blackberries down through here. Tried to pick some last year, but they just weren't very big. They were a lot of them, but they were dry. Yeah, that's a nice little tree bud. Don't know what kind that is. Maybe that's one of my sassafras. I've never seen them before they bloom, but this is the right location. Yep, that is. It's my sassafras trees. They get big so fast. First time I saw them, they were about to my ankle 2 years ago. Now, they're about 2 feet over my head. Looks like I got a couple more right here. And my little cedar trees. Got a new one coming up. Really pretty. And another bunch of sassafras. My goodness. I'll have to see if I can't put those to use this year. Well, it's really windy. That's my dog. Well, it's my nephew's dog, but I keep it for him. And he's just like my dog. It's a black and tan coonhound, but he doesn't coon hunt. We never did train him to. He sure knows how to bark. In this little spot right here, I plant wildflowers. I'm hoping some more come up this year without me reseeding them. I planted a bunch of perennials in here last year. We'll see how that does. If it doesn't, I'll have to plant some more next spring. But that's what I'm hoping for. And this is a little spot I put some perennials. Well, this grass is so beautiful. Dark and green. And these skies are looking horrible. Yeah, it's just a little add-on to the chicken shed. We put tools and stuff in and some cages, trap animals, critters. When they try to eat my chickens. Well, not no more. I don't have no chickens, but and that's where they stayed. And they roosted up in there. They were happy in there. But the old shed's seen its better days. It's getting pretty worn down. And that's a little extra place we added on to park the lawnmower out of the rain and four-wheeler. But the four-wheeler's not in there. And here's a bunch of walnuts I got last year. Hung them up here to dry out. I'm really amazed and surprised that squirrels didn't come in here and eat them this winter. Oh, I see, maybe they did. No, I must have moved them. I thought I had them lined up all the way across through there. Maybe that was the first bunch I did. I did 2 bunches. The first bunch I did was early because people that plant crops on this farm for my landlord, he, that's a wild, oh, what do you call it? Honeysuckle tree. My chickens used to love to roost in this thing during the warm days. Let's see, what was I saying? Oh yeah, there used to be a really big walnut tree past in front of my house there in the back of that field. And the people that raised crops here bulldozed it over. I took a walk down there one day and seen that they destroyed it, but all the walnuts were laying on the ground, so I picked all them up I could find and got them ready to eat. Some of them are good and some of them aren't, but I can't see things go to waste. There's my little barrel I collect wood in that falls all over the yard from the trees. The wind blowing through the trees. The wind blew it over. If it ain't nailed down, it's getting blown over. There's my makeshift fire pit. I burn stuff in. Sit around the fire this time. And that's a little bench that I inspired my husband to make for me. Well, it's not little, it's a really big bench. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Are you barking at me? And there is the downside of my Easter lilies. They grow up every year on their own. From the people that used to live here many years ago. Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? Yeah, you're getting a new doghouse this year. Yes, you are. We're going to build you a duplex. Yes. Yes, we are. It's going to have a porch and everything. You hear that wind? It's going to rain. He hates the rain. It's going to rain. Yeah, it's going to rain. I'll come back and see you. And this is my plum tree in bloom. Hopefully the rain doesn't rain hard enough to knock the blooms off of them. It's very pretty. And she's loaded with plums. I see the bees are taking advantage of the pollen nectar. But we dry those up in the dehydrator and make prunes out of them. Very tasty. And across the road right there is the other side of the old road from the 1800s. And that's the front of the house with my exercise bike on it. And I got this old stump here. Oh, I see my little maple trees coming out. It says that it likes partial shade, so I planted it here. Even though I know it's going to get too big, I'll have to dig it up and move it. But I figured it'd do better once it got older. But anyway, here's the stump. I'm going to plant some hens and chicks in that one. Now that I don't have my chickens, I can plant some flowers. Plant some flowers and maybe they'll do good this year. There's my ornery old dog. And his name is Dog. He's spoiled rotten. Pile of lumber. I'm going to use that in the project for the dog house. I have to buy some extra boards too, but that'll be the bulk of it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh yeah, you ready to go in the house? Huh? Are you? Say goodbye to everybody. Say goodbye. Dog. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Yeah, boy. Good boy.